Okay, so I quit, and this time there is no going back. Um, Strange episode recording to do. It's been one I've been putting off for a little while. In fact, some of you who've been following my work for a while might actually remember that I released an episode a number of years ago called I Quit, and I was this close to walking away from the solo offers that we were doing. So particularly small firms, solo consultants, coaches, and B2B service providers. And the reason I wanted to walk away at the time was that there was a lot wrong with the industry. There was a lot of things that I disliked. There was a lot of things that were very draining. It was actually, ironically, the reason I ended up staying was because there's a lot of crap out there. I mean, I don't know how else to word that nicely. There's a lot of stuff out there with people teaching you how to grow their firms in a way that they never have. I'll give you an example. I had one the other day that made me laugh out loud. I literally was laughing at this thing on my phone. I was on Facebook. My sister's at a wedding right now, so she posted some pictures of her and my niece, so I was kind of having a look at those. And this advert popped up, and it was one of these self-proclaimed gurus, right? One of these coaching experts telling you how to win a client by never using a Facebook ad ever again, whilst publicizing that as a Facebook ad. So he'd put out a Facebook ad to tell you why you never need Facebook ads ever again. And I thought, surely nobody's buying this crap, right? And then you look at the comments underneath and people are like, this is great, this is what I need. And I'm like, how has nobody seen the irony of this? Like, I just don't get it. So look, I've been sitting on this decision for about 18 months now. This episode is not a marketing ploy, so please do not take this as this is Phil trying to market some stuff. This is done. I've put a time limit on this. I put a limit on how many more of these people we will accept. We're still getting great results, but it no longer feels like winning for me. I want to explain to you a little bit about the backstory and what it is we're doing now and the direction that we're going and have gone. But I felt like I owed it to you and to myself to be very honest about where this decision has come from. So this is not me walking away. This is me officially closing one chapter so that I can continue to work on the chapter that we've already started to build. So let me tell you a little bit about the backstory and why we created this in the first place. And some of you may know who I'm referencing. I won't say names because I don't think that's fair. A number of years ago, I had sold my recruitment business. I had been doing some consulting work, and I wasn't entirely sure what it was I wanted to do next. I was just kind of doing some consulting work, and that was fun, and some short-term projects, but there was no real structure to it. Anybody who's ever sold a business will know there's the highs of getting the deal done and selling the business, and then there's almost the low and the lull of, well, what do I do now? Like I don't know what to do now. So you end up doing little bits here and there. And I went to this networking event. It was an online networking event, lasted for about 2 or 3 days. It was a networking event specifically designed for small business owners who were looking to set up kind of partnerships and networks and all this kind of stuff. And what I realized was that this person was making a lot of money off selling promises to people that didn't exist. I mean, they even had this sort of risk reversal thing where they knew that people wouldn't stay with them for 6 months because they were crap. So what they would say is, let's say it was $60,000 $30,000 for the program. They say, look, it's a $60,000 program. You pay the first $30,000 in the first 90 days, and then you only pay me the other $30,000 once you achieve this target, knowing that they were never going to achieve this target. It was just a manipulative way of getting people to pay you early. I remember looking at this thinking, this is disgusting. And the stuff that they're teaching doesn't work. Like, I've grown a business and sold my business. This crap doesn't work. So maybe I should start saying to people, hey, here's actually what works. Here's how this really goes down. Here's what you need. Here's the stuff you do need. Here's the stuff you don't need. And I started to build some relationships with some phenomenal people I love to this day, many of whom, if you go on my LinkedIn profile, for example, you'll see recommendations and reviews from. If you go to bib.show, which is our landing page, you'll be able to book a call in there if you wanted to. I'll talk about that later. But on there's also dozens, maybe even hundreds at this point, of client testimonials, recommendations, and reviews. I love these people, and I love the success that we've created together. It's just I've not been enjoying it very much. I think it got to the point where even when we were winning with clients, and we were winning, and they were winning, and it was great, it just wasn't exciting anymore. In fact, ironically, this is the same time I knew that I needed to sell my recruitment business, because making placements used to really excite me. I used to love helping people to find their dream job. I used to love the fact that the companies would love me for finding them somebody great. I would get paid really well for that. And it was just this whole great process. And then that started to diminish, and I started to not care. Like then it just became about the money. It was, great, another payment, placement. The irony is, if I think about probably the first 50 to 60 executives that we placed in different companies, I could tell you their name, I could tell you where they live, I could tell you where they came from, I could tell you where they went, and I could tell you their career highlights and why this was so great for them. The last 50, I'd struggle to remember their names. Even if you told me their names, I would struggle to remember their story. And that's a horrible thing to admit, but I think I just burnt out. And that's how this was feeling. So it came close a few years ago. Like I got to the point, and nothing had been built at that point to move on to anything else, which is not the case now. But at the time I was like, I don't like this, that, I'm running into so many people who have been burnt and abused and taken advantage of by other people. In the last month, I could tell you about a guy who came to me in tears on a sales call because he wants to work with us, but he's just invested $60,000 on a new website that didn't do anything for him. An agency that ran off with $20,000 worth of somebody's money. People telling me I've invested 5-6 figures into coaching programs that have never worked. And, they're in pain. And that's, as an empath, that's really draining. Yeah, it's not a nice experience to be having to speak to people all the time who are gone through pain. And I don't want to make it sound like I don't care about these people. I do care about these people. I'm just, it's really taking its toll. It's really, really taking its toll. Which is probably why there's so much guilt around this decision. And why it's taken me probably 12 to 18 months longer than it should have done to make this decision. I mean, we all work with consultants, right? Everybody has a coach or a consultant. I'm no different. I have 2 people that I work with that I trust implicitly. They don't speak to each other. They don't know each other. And both of them separately have been saying, you're working with these $1 to $5 million B2B firms and recruitment firms. Like, look at the results that you're getting for these people. In the last year, we've done 600% increase in sales. We've done 18% ROI. We've taken people from, being paid on delivery to fully retained. We've increased fees. We've made them thought leaders in their industry. We've even had some successful exits within the last 12 to 18 months. And that's amazing. Like, that wasn't where people felt that they could be or would be. And, my consultants are saying to me, why are you doing something that is taking up so much of your time and so much of your energy, and actually taking your energy away from that work that you're doing with the sales and authority optimization for those $1 to $5 million brands, but also the sports stuff? I mean, many of you know sports is my passion, right? So football for me, soccer for many of you, if you're watching this in North America. And, that's where I have so much fun. And we have an 8-figure sports consulting business that specializes mainly sort of 70% in doing sponsorship deals, and then another 30% in executive headhunting for those kind of positions within that. I love that so much. I like that business is a lot of fun. I get to spend all day, every day, talking to sports clubs and having conversations with great people. Just last night, I had a World Cup winner with France contact me about coming on our show and having a conversation, because we're actually working on opposite ends of a deal together. I love it. I love it. Like, that is my zone of genius. Working with, it doesn't matter whether it's a sports club or whether it's one of those B2B brands or recruitment firms that are kind of doing 1-5 million plus. That's my zone of genius. That's where I have so much fun. And these consultants have been on at me and on at me and on at me saying, why do you keep doing this? And I kept coming up with ridiculous answers. But if I'm really honest with you about why I did it, I think it was an obligation thing. I think it was a guilt thing. I'm aware that there are so many sharks in this industry, particularly kind of aimed at those solo consultants, solo coaches, small B2B firms, that I felt guilty saying, I'm going to walk away and going to do this instead. Like, this is where my focus is. So I built them simultaneously. But I don't know what happened recently, but something just kind of clicked. It was one of those days where you're awake at 4 a.m. and I just realized, like, this is too much. Like, and I hope you agree, I feel like I've earned my stripes at this point. I've helped a lot of people. I've helped people rebuild businesses that have been broken because other people stole from them, and I will use that word to pay for their services. I've done a lot, and I think you'll see from client testimonials and reviews, I've built up a lot of love. I love those people too. We've done a lot of good jobs. So I think the reason now is that to walk away is that I have to do what's right for my own well-being as well. And plus, let's not be around the bush here. I'm somebody, and I've known this ever since I was on the sports field. If I'm feeling great, I can really elevate those around me. If I'm feeling crappy, I tend to drag those around me down. And I'm getting to the point where I'm not feeling crappy, but I'm aware that I'm running out of energy, and I never want to be another person delivering you a service that isn't 110% in and doesn't care about you. So we will never abandon the people that we work with. We are doing one final intake here to say, look, once it's gone, it's gone. I've set a number on it and I've set a time limit on it. Whichever one of those two things comes first, it is done. It's not going to take us very long to fill that, especially if we look at what's going on in the pipeline. I want to cherry pick some people that we can really make a big impact for and really help grow their business, and quite frankly are really deserving of that, either because of the impact that they have on other people or frankly because they deserve it. They've been taken advantage of. These are typically people who are saying, you know, they're too referral led. Most of their new business comes from referrals. They've tried all kinds of things. They've worked with different coaches. They've worked with different consultants. They've done the crappy webinar. They've done the Facebook ad. They've written a book that nobody read. You know, and they want real strategies. They don't want fluff. They don't want to spend another 50 hours watching videos, learning stuff. They just want things that work, a playbook that works, a strategy that works. And that's what we're offering, but we're offering it one final time. This is the final round. I'm committing this and putting this out there so that I don't do what I did last time, because about a couple of years ago, I said I was going to do this. And then I didn't. I just quietly kept it going and kept on taking more and kept on taking more. And that's just, it's not right. So the good news is that if you've been watching in the distance, if you've been kind of monitoring our stuff, which is conversations I hear a lot from people, this is the time. Pull the trigger, take the action. Let's get you where you need to be, because once this is gone, I will not be offering this any further. My focus now has to be on continuing to achieve those amazing results in two businesses. One is in the sales and authority optimization business, which is mainly aimed at B2B firms and recruitment firms doing roughly between sort of $1 and $5 million a year. And then those sports businesses. I mean, the sports business has a wait list now. Like that's how well that has gone. It's an 8-figure business, no paid ads, no outside investment, just using the exact same strategies that we teach. So it's a real blessing. We practice what we preach. Look, this isn't about quitting. This is about getting up. This is about living up to your potential. Not just me, but you as well, right? So this is not I quit because I give up, I can't do this anymore. This is I quit because I need to be doing something else that allows me to help more people, impact more people, and stay within my own zone of genius, and quite frankly, enjoy the feeling of winning again. I miss that feeling of winning, and it's not like the results aren't there, but the feeling isn't there, and that's tough. So I hope you appreciate my honesty. I've been really nervous about recording this because, you know, in an industry, I mean, all right, here's this, right? So one of the things that's actually made this worse is we've recently been signed by 2 major networks to create a documentary movie and then a subsequent television series called Is Anything Real? And Is Anything Real is all about exposing the fake it till you make it culture, you know, these assholes buying Instagram followers and renting private jets for half a day that have no engine so they can take their Instagram pictures, or, you know, renting the car or the Airbnb to shoot their video sales letters to convince you that they know what the hell they're talking about, or, you know, getting a Cuban cigar and smoking it on a Facebook advert to try and make yourself look like you're the bee's knees when you're an idiot. You're just Your money is coming from selling a dream that you can't deliver to people who are desperate for answers. And that's shitty. And the rest of the series and the movie is all about celebrating real success and what that looks like. And the more that we've started to do that process, and I'm super excited about all that, by the way, mega, you should get involved. It's really, really powerful. But the more I've started to do that, the more I've started to realize that actually there are successful people financially that are miserable. And then there are people who don't earn as much money as them. They're still doing very well, making a nice living, but they're really happy because they're enjoying their work and they enjoy what they do. And it made me reflect on myself and my own business and where I am right now. And I was realizing that my life recently has been a bit of a roller coaster with emotion and energy. It's some of the projects I'm working on, I can't sleep at night. I'm so excited. Like I can't wait to get out of bed and jump on it. And then other projects I'm working on, it's like, I'm doing it because I have to do it. I'm doing it because it's an obligation to do it. I'm really glad for you that you're winning, but I'm no longer feeling that feeling of, I love this. So the irony is, since having made this decision, that feeling has actually come back. And I think it's because emotionally, consciously, subconsciously, whatever, and maybe even spiritually, I know that transition has already started to happen now. So I'm all in on getting my existing clients and the new people from this final intake the best possible results. I'm going to love every single second of it. But this is the time. This is the time. I have to do it. Yeah, I quit. There is no going back this time. So if you want to get in touch, you are welcome to. I'd love to speak to you. There'll be no fluff. There'll be no waffle. We'll just get straight down to what is it you're trying to achieve. If I'm the person that can help you, then I'll tell you how. If I'm not the person that can help you, I'll make an introduction to somebody that can. Either way, you're going to win. I do know some great people in this industry. It's not all assholes. There are some awesome people. Unfortunately, there's not many. So I will steer you in the right direction if that is not me. That once that final intake is done, it is done. If you want to get in touch, drop me a message on LinkedIn, drop me a DM, or if you just want to book in a call, you can go to bib.show. You can also check out testimonials there. You can check out the video about what it is we do, all that great kind of stuff. But thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your understanding. God bless all of you. And thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for watching this interview on Billionaires in Boxes. If you would like to join us as a guest on Billionaires in Boxes, or indeed on Pelucha TV, all you have to do is email us at vipbookings@billionairesinboxes.com.